He's Ro.
Meg.
It's Meg and Ro in the morning. Good morning.
Buenos dias.
You can hear yourself, right?
Yeah, I can.
And you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I adjusted my headphones enough.
Okay.
It's fine. But as long as the people can hear me, that's all that matters. My name is Megan, and last night I got finished rewatching Lucky Star.
Nice.
And it's an anime about girls who do nothing.
And they're horses, right?
No, that's Uma Musume.
Oh, wrong one.
But last Friday I moved into my very first apartment.
Ta-da.
And that's been really fun. We'll do an episode all about what it's like to move and tips for moving and all that jazz at some point. Who are you?
I'm Ro. And to the people that saw the episode where I bought my laser engraver, I bought it. So I started making wooden keychains. I'll post pictures of it. The one I have on my phone has Texas inspired, so it has a Texas flag. And on the other side it says, "Come and take it." So very historical. It's what I made. I'm making keychains now. So
They're pretty cool looking.
that's me.
Today we're going to be talking about haunted, scary, spooky places. But before we get into that, Ro, what did you have for dinner last night?
Oh, my mom made beef with white rice and black beans, and she also made coconut and almond bread.
Sounds good.
Keto style almond bread and coconut bread.
I can't have coconut, but that sounds good.
It didn't have like shaving. It was like the juice,
The oil?
the oil. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes my throat swell.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
Yeah. Xander, my brother, and my roommate made 7-layer dip, and we had it with chips, and it was very tasty. What did you have for dinner last night? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet at us, or send us an Instagram. However you're watching this, let us know somehow what you had for dinner. I think my dinner tonight is going to be bagel bites. I'm already thinking about it.
I think I might have ramen or a sandwich. I don't know, something.
Ramen sounds good. So like I said, we're going to be talking about scary, spooky, haunted places. Sometimes they're just scary places. Sometimes they're haunted places. Sometimes they're just spooky. And I feel like spooky doesn't necessarily mean scary. It just means like unsettling. You know what I mean?
Correct. Yes. Or just
I think
uncomfortable. You had it sideways.
Do I have it better now?
Yeah, now you're better.
Wow. Well, people are just going to have to deal with that because we're not starting over.
Right. Oh, well.
We got to figure it out now. So, Ro, do you want to go first? What is the first, like, scary, unsettling, weird place that you've ever been to?
Disturbingly, my home.
Like the one you grew up in?
The one I grew up in. There have been some times where I've heard. Now, everything that I have heard or seen had a good explanation. So, once upon a time, I was in my room. We now have an extended front porch in the front of our house, or my parents' house, whatever. And I would sleep, obviously, and I would sleep next to a window. But I have this weird thing, and I'm pretty sure everybody else does, where I can't sleep with the window wide open. Like, there has to be blinds covering the window. One night, I heard, like, thumping on the side of the wall outside. And I'm like, this went on for a while. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Coming to find out,
terrifying.
That thumping was my dad's tomato plant growing from the pot that hangs from the ceiling sometimes. He had that, and sometimes the wind would like hit the wall. So that's what the thumping was. But there was a time where I was in the restroom brushing my teeth, and the corner of my eye, I saw a red mitten go like in and out
From where?
From the door.
Okay.
But that day I was alone. I remember that curl. I was alone that day, and a red mitten just.
Oh, does that have an explanation?
No, it doesn't.
Wow, that's
that
creepy.
one does not have an explanation. If you've heard the other podcasts, the other episodes, that I live in the sticks, out in the woods, countryside, whatever. So we have neighbors, but they're not like, hey neighbor, like, how's it going?
Right. That doesn't really happen in the country.
Let me borrow some sugar. No, we don't got that kind of neighbor.
No.
We just like do this, like the Jeep wave, just what's up kind of stuff. That's the first experience I've had, like creepy, spooky, haunted, like unsettling spaces or unsettling place. that I've experienced.
Is your own home.
My own home.
Well, we've got that in common, buddy, because the first haunted, spooky place I ever experienced was my childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mother did not confess this to me until after we had moved out and into the current home that they live in.
That's messed up right there. Like, hey, by the way, we were haunted.
Yes, and the thing is that house was definitely haunted because... So the place that we lived at, you would go down this road, and there were two houses. There was the landlord's house, and then there was our house. Mm-hmm. But he had built that house for his parents to live in. Gotcha. Well, I'm pretty sure both of his parents died in that house because they were elderly. And I didn't know that until after we left. But I knew his parents had lived there, but yeah. Ever since I was a little kid, I don't know, just very strange things would happen there. Xander, my brother, and I, we would always feel like we were being watched. And there would be the only time I've really ever had sleep paralysis was in that house. I had this overwhelming feeling of being watched, even when I was completely alone.
I feel that.
I would be in the shower, taking a shower, and it was a frosted glass door, right?
Oh, a very typical movie scene. Let's paint it. It's like, dun, dun, dun,
yeah, basically.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I would feel like I was being watched, even though there was literally no way for anybody to see me in the bathroom, in the shower. There was no way that anybody could have seen you.
Right.
And then, sometimes Xander and I would just be, playing in, the computer room. Remember when people had computer rooms?
Oh, man.
And all of a sudden, we'd both, stop and, look at each other.
Right.
And we wouldn't say anything, but it felt like somebody else was there.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom had told me that when she was pregnant with me, she was trying to take a nap in the living room. And she had this overwhelming feeling of dread fall over her. And so she had to leave the house and go to my grandparents' house to go take a nap because it just felt so overwhelming. This was not a spirit that ever did anything bad to us. It wasn't super happy that we were living there. And it was just a really bad, overwhelming feeling.
That bad juju.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, it was not great. So shout out to my mom for not mentioning that the house we lived in was haunted or doing anything about it for 13 years.
I can relate to that. My parents told me that I used to talk to the wall. I think I told you that story. I was a kid, not a kid, a toddler, 3 or 4 years old. And then I would talk to the wall. And my dad would cuss at the wall. And I'm like, okay, how weird is it that a kid talks to the wall and then your dad comes behind you and starts cussing to the wall and yo, leave my kid alone, blah, 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 beep, 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 whatever. And it's just yo, it's kind of weird. And then that's what my parents brought over the priest from the church that they go. And he was like, Satan be gone or whatever, bad spirits go away. And then I stopped talking to the wall.
So apparently when all my siblings and I were infants, there would be this one particular spot in one of the rooms of the house that we would just stare at. And, they say that babies are closer to the spiritual realm.
Right.
So that's our first scary experience somewhere. What's your, second place that you can remember?
There was this not haunted. It was an abandoned house. I'm not going to say a specific location, but it was outside or the outskirts of Angelina County.
Okay.
My friends took me there. We've talked about this story a couple times. And I was too scared. I was a little B. I'll put it that way. I stayed outside. I did not want to go inside. I was like, dude, I'm not going in. I'm not going in.
Cat.
I was like, you know what? I have a bad feeling about that house. I'm not going in. So one of my friends, two of my friends took turns. They're like, all right, we're going to have a row watch. So you stay out here and watch, and then when I'm done checking the house, we're gonna switch. I'm like, dude, y'all can do whatever y'all want. I almost wanted to run and go back to the car. I was like, I'm not doing this. And I didn't go inside, but the house was broken down. The walls, well, not the walls, the floors were shot. The doors were broken down. They found books all over the place, and they found a what's that star? thing called?
Oh, the like a pentagram.
I feel like, yeah. I think they said that they found a pentagram. I'm not too sure.
Wow.
It was a couple of years ago, but that was like the second place. And we went late at night. It was almost
midnight.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, I'm not. And I never stepped foot in that door. I mean, I never stepped foot on the house. Not even on the front porch. I just like stayed outside. It's like, dude, I ain't doing this. That's not me. I like to learn and know about it.
How old were you?
17, 18? No, 16, 17, something like that. I was still in high school.
You were in high school.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like my junior or senior year that we went. And that was like the second place I've been to that I can recall. I was like, yo, it's kind of scary.
There, in downtown Lufkin, there are a lot of haunted places. Heritage Antiques is one of them. I mean, obviously, almost all antique stores are haunted. But Heritage Antiques downtown is definitely haunted. I have had not great experiences with spirits there. I'm not going to elaborate, I've decided. But Standpipe Coffee House is actually haunted.
No joke. Joke.
So I actually haven't asked any of the baristas, like the current baristas, if they have experienced this. But when I was working there, and a lot of the times I would close by myself, or I would be like counting the drawer and somebody else would be cleaning in like another room.
Right.
And like the bathrooms or whatever, right? And you could see out of the corner of your eye from where you would be counting the drawer a dark figure at the end of the bar. All the doors would be locked. There'd be nothing there, like nobody in there.
Right.
And it was like a tall, dark figure that was usually wearing a hat, like a fedora or a trilby type of thing. And as soon as you would look over, it wouldn't be there anymore. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying about this at all. He was not like a mean spirit or anything like that, but we do have confirmation that somebody had actually died in the apartment above Standpipe.
So he just waited for his coffee
in like 2010, 2011, something like
recent.
that.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. That's not my story to share, but yes, somebody had passed away in the apartment above, and so at one point I was like, hey, like, it's cool that you're there, but like, stop distracting me. And I kept counting the money, and he knocked over something that was on like the drying shelf above the sinks.
Yeah.
Something that couldn't have fallen on its own. Very obviously, it just like it was hit and fell into the sink. And I looked over and I was like, can you not do that? That was very rude.
You see stuff like that. That's how I like to experience it. There's something with you, just let it be. You know, don't go all Scooby-Doo and investigate.
Right.
You know, just like, hey, yo, like sometimes at my house I hear a noise in the kitchen and I'm not the one to go investigate. You know, we've seen movies before. We know what happens when you investigate. Look at Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
You know what happens.
Right.
I just let it be. I'm like, dude, you know what? You welcome. If you want to grab you a snack, you know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and grab you a snack. If there's a spirit in my car and he changes the radio by itself, hey, bro, by all means, go ahead and change the radio. High school. Okay, me and my homeboy, we went to San Antonio for a Spanish club trip.
Right.
And we were in the Red Roof. That's the hotel.
The Red Roof Hotel, yeah.
By the mall in San Antonio. Me and my homeboy, we were there, and we were nowhere near the radio, and out of nowhere, bam, radio turns on. And it was an old school radio, like not like a dial up, whatever, but like it was like early 2000s. We had to like hit the button super hard and like red digital analog, whatever, not analog. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
The radio turned on by itself, and then me and him looked at each other like, dude, nah. So we didn't even run. We just stood there in shock and like, yo, did you touch that? He's like, no, I didn't touch it. Did you? I was like, that wasn't me.
For the people watching the video, imagine if there was a cup sitting on a shelf, like the table in front of us, okay? This little skeleton right here, stable on the shelf, okay? Stable in the middle of the shelf. The ghost literally, like, this is why I'm saying it wasn't like I had the mug or whatever
like on
the edge. Yeah. No, it wasn't on the edge. It wasn't on the corner. It was in the middle of the shelf.
Right.
And it was like,
no, sir.
I was like, you could have broken that.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, that's mean.
Right. Now, who gonna pay for that? You.
Now, I
can't blame the spirit.
I don't think any patrons have ever witnessed the spirits that are inside Standpipe, because there is more than one. There's the guy, but there's also the spirit of a young child who will play in the lobby during closing, or it did when like us older baristas would be working. Like there was like different generations of baristas at Standpipe,
Right?
and we're currently on like the newest generation, and I just haven't asked anybody to see like, hey, have you guys seen the ghosts that like mess with you after closing? So I don't know if you could see it, but if you work at Standpipe, maybe you'll see the ghosts that are there. You've been to Boykin Spring, right? In Zavala?
I've been through, like, or maybe around, but not like, I can't remember if I have.
Boykin Spring is like, it's like a campsite, so you can't go through it.
Oh, well then no.
Okay.
I've been through Zavala. That's about it.
Okay. So
I've been to the Blue Hole, or I try to go to the Blue Hole.
I've actually been to the Blue Hole, but it's private property. But I knew people.
Yeah, I went not knowing it was private, so
yeah.
we took a trip for no reason.
Oh, sorry, that sucks. Well, anyway, Boykin Springs. It's in like the Zavala area, I'm pretty sure. And how do I describe Boykin Springs? There's like an area where you can park. It's kind of like a circle area, and you can hike up to the old sawmill, which is definitely haunted, but that's not what I'm going to talk about, because, like, obviously it's haunted, the old sawmill. But there's kind of, like, random graves everywhere around Boykin Springs from where, like, the Boykin family had been buried.
Wow.
And not only that, but there's, like a lake, like a small lake kind of pond area.
Right.
And I'll play, like, in the spring. That's like further down, closer to where the parking lot is, because it like comes out of the rocks and it's like nice and it's really cool to look at. We'll have to go for an episode.
Yeah.
But the pond lake thingy that a lot of people will like take their little boats out in or go swimming in, it feels bad. Like even when you're there on like a super sunny, beautiful day,
right,
you look at that and you're like, that's bad. There's something bad there. It's freaky. It always scares me. Like, I swear, like, my intuition tells me that there are, like, dead bodies in there or something. That's how I feel about it. Like, it just doesn't feel good. It feels scary. It feels, you know?
Okay, that same feeling relates to not the abandoned house I went to.
Yeah, like, it's just bad. Like, in your core,
right,
you feel like something is wrong.
Yeah.
And, like, your heart starts beating really fast.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that kind of vibe is kind of all over Boykin Spring. Not the whole thing. There are places that feel better. But I would not recommend visiting Boykin Spring at night or on, like, a cloudy, creepy day. There's, like, rumors that a lot of satanic rituals happen out in that forest, too. So...
what?
Yeah. So that's a pretty creepy place.
I'm finna walk in with like rosaries all over me.
I mean, we'll go because it's cool.
Right.
It's just unsettling. Especially with the fewer people you're with, the more creepy it feels, because then you don't have like a bunch of like humans around you to be like, oh, this feels okay.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Let me check your Facebook, because there are some people
I remember
who commented.
Yeah, so
you do remember?
Yeah, my cousin, she commented the Shady Pines. I guess where she used to live. I'm not sure if it was it's a RV park in Nacogdoches, I think. Maybe that's what she was referring to, but I couldn't like tell if that was the one she referred to, like Shady Pines RV Park. She just said Shady Pines. There was another homeboy that says like it was a cemetery built in the 1800s that's pretty haunted. I didn't get a specific name for that either, but he said that there was a cemetery, which I mean cemeteries in general are like haunted.
Obviously, cemeteries in general are haunted.
There's dead people.
There's literally dead people in the ground.
Yeah. And the one that I will experience more often now is Jack Creek, or better known as Crowbaby Creek.
I had never heard of Crowbaby Creek until Ro told me about it.
So it's in the Hudson area. It's in Farm Road something intersection Farm Road.
If you watch the video, like we provide so much more information.
I'll put the map right here, and this is Crowbaby Creek, or
Okay.
Jack Creek. Crowbaby Creek has a very short story. There's 2 stories that I found out. So story number 1, 70s or 80s, there's a lady that was driving on this bridge, and stormy night, super rainy, like super slippery, and then she veered off and went down the creek, and her child passed away in that creek. So that's one story why they call it Crowbaby Creek, because late at night you can hear a faint of a baby cry going either side of the creek.
That's really sad.
The other story is that the lady purposely drowned her kid in the creek, and then drowned herself, which correlates to La Llorona, you know, when they're like, ay, mis hijos, you know, my children.
I was literally about to say, like, La Llorona. Like,
yeah, so that's another story
thing
that I read, or that I saw like on articles and comments about this creek. So yeah, but you can hear a baby cry. Now,
have you experienced the baby crying?
Heck no.
Because you have to like summon it, right?
They say you have to turn off your car, nothing on, put baby powder on the car, and you'll see baby prints, like handprints, footprints on the car.
I hate that.
Yeah. So a homeboy of mine, he said, I put it on my Snapchat, and he said, man, that place is really creepy. When you get there, if your whole crew is silent, it's an eerie kind of silent, car off, nobody talking, just listening. It really gives you goosebumps. I've been a few times, and every time we make sure to be quiet, there's no way something always breaks branches out there. And it might really be a coincidence, but there's no way it's dead silent. Almost mute, and then the branches just break out of nowhere. It's too good to be a coincidence.
That's creepy. That is really creepy.
So,
I'm really glad that you haven't taken me out there, because I don't like that.
it's it's like in the
and I don't want to mess with La Llorona. Like,
oh, shit,
no.
me either. I mean, that's not La Llorona, but I mean, it's similar or as equal to. La Llorona is more like Mexican based.
Right, but still, that's a very similar story.
The bridge now is made out of metal, and it has these huge guardrails, so you don't fall off the bridge.
That sucks. Everything about that sucks.
And to think about it, that's the only bridge from a creek that I've seen that's made out of metal.
Right. Yeah, most of them in this area are like wood
or concrete.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one with metal guardrails, like 5 or 6 feet, like angling this way.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if we mention any like local businesses or local places, we're not saying, hey, don't go to these places. Like, definitely go to Standpipe and like ask the baristas, like, hey, we heard that there's ghosts here. Have you experienced any ghosts?
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because I'm also going to mention another local business. Don't mind the dogs.
Who let the dogs
Do you want to like put some like little barking animations up? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wow, they're really going at it. What made them mad?
The spirits.
I guess so. Furniture Fetish. I think that they permanently have the 3rd floor closed now. Don't quote me on that. But they have 3 floors. And my dad and I went on the 3rd floor to look for some furniture for my office one time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like looking around. And we look over and there's this rocking chair. And it's not like kind of rocking. Like we stepped on a board and it like started moving. It was like rocking, like somebody was in it. And if you're watching the video, Ro and I are just rocking back and forth now. And Dad and I looked at it and went, don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was creepy. But like I said, most of the places in old places are usually going to be haunted.
Yes.
There's gonna be energy there.
Mm-hmm.
They say that energy can't be destroyed, it can only be turned into something else. So if you don't believe in ghosts, that's fine.
Yeah,
but I mean, you can't really deny the science that's there that says like energy can't be destroyed, it can only be turned into something else.
just know that there is another world within this world that we are living in right now.
Absolutely there is. I mean, I think it makes it more interesting to think about life that way, don't you?
What trips me out is, how does one have a ghost meter or like an energy meter?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, how do you make something?
Don't use Ouija boards, please.
Yeah, that's a
Don't
no-go.
do that.
Go watch Paranormal Activity, and then you'll see why.
EVPs are, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you're just picking up like noise and stuff. But like, if you want to get in, like, these are all instances where we've accidentally come in contact with spirits. I have never purposefully, unless I am contacting a spirit, like one of my deceased family members, or when I was doing tarot, I would contact a deceased family member or loved one of my clients. But like, when I've gone to a haunted place, I'm not looking for scary stuff to happen.
Like the dude from it was a Ghost Hunters episode. Like, hey guys, hey ghost, it's me, your boy.
Oh, that's the BuzzFeed Unsolved?
I think so.
Yeah.
I just seen
Shane
the meme.
Madej.
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, hey ghost, it's me,
Your boy. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Be respectful when you are going to a place you know that is haunted.
Yes.
Don't make fun of the ghosts. Ghosts don't like that. They're people like you and me. They're just dead.
Well, yeah, okay. Let's put it that way. Yes, let's do it like that.
Do you have any other haunted places before we wrap up?
Something about, no, there's not really a story, but I'll leave it as a final thought. You can go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you liked this episode, make sure to like and share it with your friends. Make sure you're following us on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you have ever been to a spooky, scary, or haunted place, let us know. I know that Elise has something. She's told me some spooky stories before, so you better leave a comment, bestie.
Yep.
You can find us on Twitter, even though we don't really tweet a whole lot, at Mr. in the Morning. You can use the hashtag Mr. in the Morning when you're making a post about us or sharing or whatever.
Yep.
Again, if you like this episode, share it in your Instagram story, share it on your Facebook, share
Everywhere
it on
and
Twitter.
anywhere. Yes,
it helps us, and it's thematic. This, I think, is going up like one of the last Mondays in October.
Yes.
So share your spooky experiences, and if you have been to any of the places that we mentioned and it's been haunted or unsettling or scary, let us know. We want to go. Maybe we'll like take a bunch of people ghost hunting next year.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun.
This episode's on the last Monday of October, so we won't upload on the Friday. We're gonna upload on Halloween Day.
Right. It's gonna be a fun episode.
Yes. And my final thought is something about churches at night is scary.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that, buddy. Churches at night.
Church is chicken.
What?